1950s, there was a Eucharistic conference in Rio de Janeiro, and these things were about the shape of that, and they look like a bullion, a piece of silver bullion. And I bought it really right away. And I said, aha, I'm going to stump John on this one. So I walked over to John's table and I said, John, I've got something in my pocket and you don't know what it is. And he said, all right, pull it out. And I went like this. Brazilian commemorative bar. You know that look that John would give you of disdain when you were trying to match his skills in numismatics. Well, John the Patriot. A lot of people always ask John, why do you have so many guns? And John was well in tune with Thomas Jefferson about why we have the right to bear arms. Some of you know that famous quote from Jefferson. And he was, John really incredibly loved his country. And then finally, John as a person. John could have a very tough exterior, right? But as we all know, he was a teddy bear inside, wasn't he? He had a heart of gold. And my grandson Josh, who was weaned on numismatics and couldn't be here, felt bad he couldn't be here today. He's now 22, but any A&A show he went to, he spent half his time in the exhibit area and the other half of the time at John's table. And my son David did the same thing. And Josh loved John, and John loved Josh. And I think a number of us were hooked to John via phone calls, right? How many of you used to do regular phone calls with John? Yeah, and we all thought we were the only one, right? But yeah, John was quite a person. So I'll turn it over to Pat. He'll talk a little bit about the library.
Well, the concept of the library, like everybody knew how John's table was, so we're sort of recreating that with this numismatic reference book library. The idea here is, here at the A&A and any other shows that we take it to, we're hoping to make it a traveling library. So anybody, collector, dealer, exhibit judge, you go to a show, you think, hey, I'm kind of interested in that coin. I wish I'd have brought my book with me. Well, you can come here, open it up, take as much time as you want. You're not hogging up any space or dealer's business. Browse through, use it, go back to the show floor. Now you have a little more knowledge. You could, this is what we're all about. That's what John was about. So we're trying to keep that going. And I should have introduced myself. I was John's administrator of his estate when he passed away, which was a major undertaking, of course, as many of you know. So we decided we wanted to start this. We started it at our Pan show, where John lived in the Pittsburgh area, which was pretty easy to do. Having it travel is a whole nother, there's just the logistically getting it all together and hauling it out. But we pulled it off. This is our first debut traveling exhibit at this A&A, so we're kind of proud of that. And by how many are here, I'm just so proud. I'm overwhelmed, so thank you for that. So with that, I got to tell you, Carrie went as well as coming out of the airport this morning together. I'll wait till they done.
Some A&A aircraft 1900, also available in some A&A 1900, is the Planet Metal in the Chicago Flag Series, commemorating the A&A anniversary of Chicago in a century of progress.
But this is a good story, if you don't mind, Carrie. And then we'll finish. But John Carey's walking with me through the airport this morning, and he says, Burns would probably be a little ticked off at what you're doing here. And I'm like, puzzled look at him, oh, why? And he says, I don't know how many times he would sit at his table and somebody would be browsing through his books and he'd say, hey, this ain't no library. So if I get struck by lightning today, you'll know why. So we'll leave it at that. I'll let Sam finish up. I don't have a ribbon, so we'll just pretend we did scissors, and you're welcome. I should mention right here we have a display of books that were just donated over the last couple of days. The outpouring's been great. We would take some money donations, whatever you can. It'll all go to make this thing travel around. That's what our goal is, you know. So you know, I'm not going to take the money and retire. So,
Jim, you are the winner of this hour's $7 forum at the National $7 Roundtable.
Oh.
Jim Lana, please go to the table 1956 to claim your $7 prize.
And one other thing, we are also in the process of looking for a sponsor, someone who would help us pay for the shipping costs to get this to every ANA show. So if any of you know of someone you think might be interested, or if you're personally interested in helping out with that, it's not a lot of money. Why don't you just talk to one of us and we can talk to you about that. And so one final thing to take care of, some business to take care of today. But before we do that, does anybody have a comment you'd like to make about John or about anything?
Wayne would be a good guy.
Yeah, I'm Wayne Harmon, was a longtime friend of John's in Pittsburgh. Anybody who knew him knew he was a real unique individual. It's hard to add to what's already been said here. I just wanted to say this is not just about John, but it's also about what he loved, which is numismatics and the hobby and the knowledge. That's why he loved the books. That's why he loved coming to these shows. This was where, behind that table at the shows, where he was most comfortable. He loved talking to numismatists. He would talk and talk and talk coins and everything else with his numismatic friends. So it's a great way to remember him, but it's also a way to give forward to the hobby. So please consider some of the donations that will help Pam get this around to the other shows. I mean, I just walked by here just at random yesterday and somebody was sitting down here referencing one of the books. I think it's just a great thing. So I know John would be in tears to see so many people here. It's a great thing. So thank you all.
Yeah, that last point, I remember yesterday I was walking around one of the tables and there was a collector, and he asked the dealer, "Do you have Roulau?" And he said, No, I don't have that. He said, "Well, Cunningham doesn't have it. I can't find it anywhere." I said, "Go over to the library." And he came over here and spent about a half an hour with the book. So we know that it's going to do good things. So. Anyone else like to say anything? Larry?
I'm also from the Pittsburgh area, and know John very well. Good side, bad side, as we all have. There are so many good sides to John. I remember it shows, and this goes with the library concept. John always told me, because I looked at the book, this is not a library, what do you want to buy? So I found a way to look at the books. What I would do is every time I approached John's table, he'd say, "Hey Larry, how about you want to get me a Coke?" And I'd say, "Hey John, how about you getting a Coke on your own, and I'll watch your table." And while he was out getting stuff, I would go through the book. So there was a way to get around John if you thought real quickly. But I can think of him now, and I think he'd appreciate this very much, having the library in his honor.
Thanks, David.
Hi, I'm David Lisot. I'm involved in videotaping all of the numismatic theaters. I first worked with John in 1988 and 1989. He was the primary person responsible for the Money Talks seminars that were going on. And he was part of my infection in appreciating all of the numismatic authors and creators of information as he would do the books, and he was part of my inspiration for doing videotaping. And it was in 1988 and 1989, and we became best of friends, and everything they say about him is true. He was a total character and a great person.
Ladies and gentlemen, any experts on site on 3 people at table 200.
Well, I think our outgoing president has a few words for us. Do you not?
He's never without words.
The topic is going to change slightly.
I think my voice carries.
Yeah, but they're taking
I hate microphones. It's like Clifford in your cell phones, but I have this with my. But this is just a sidebar, not to take away from John's time. John is a presidential award winner from ANA. But I am here to make a couple of presentations along with our executive director, Kim Kick. This afternoon we're going to honor an individual, and I thought this would be the appropriate time to do so from Pam. And this individual, a
along with John Barnes, has spent a lot of time giving back to the numismatic community. Numismatic community, specifically in Pennsylvania. But he is one that gets you on the phone and you learn a lot, and he talks and he tells and he shares. And it is my privilege to recognize Patrick McBride. Pat, would you?
We can turn around.
You too, Patrick. Smile, Pat. That's it. That's it. Good.
Great honor. That's the fourth time award for service and devotion. Very strong. That you are aware of him and the knowledge of who are. One other award, it may not seem as prestigious, but when I became president, the board allowed me to create, in other words, a new award. It was called the Numismatic Points of Light. These are individuals that have worked tirelessly behind the scenes. Many people say, well, who are these folks? They work in local communities, clubs, and societies nationwide. And their job, their devotion and dedication is to enhancing the hobby experience for all sorts of others, much like John did. I had the opportunity to sit at fun shows and talk with him. I got a lot of my knowledge from him, not browsing catalog. Sorry, but more here from John. But it's my privilege to you're great, Kim. I appreciate that. This individual is one of the 1978 Summer Seminar Backroom Gang honorees. So would that individual please step forward? He knows who he is. That individual, Kerry Wetterstrom. You know, we look back at this picture, and it was at the Pan Show last year. And we were a lot younger. This was a YN. 18? I believe we were 18. This is in 1978. And there were 6 of us, and we sit in the back for hours there, talking points after. So, Kerry, you have been a light to many people, and a friend to me, and we're the last 2 surviving members of that group. See, age does have its
There you go. You got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Yankee Cash Tuesday Aaron 1800 will take place at 3:30 for an all 18 show. Grab as much cash as possible.
Now the executive director will have a 2-hour program.
I just wanted to say one sentence that I know Rhonda and I, Rhonda Skirt, Conventions Director, and myself, we always enjoyed seeing John at every convention. And he'd always give us the biggest bear hug. And we valued him. He always had words of encouragement for me personally, and I think for Rhonda. And we really do miss him. He had a personal place in both of our lives. So in his honor, I just wanted to make that statement. Oh, Sam.
Thank you all for the gift of your time. Back to work.
Back to work.
Back to work.
If you like this video, we're sure you'll love these 3 videos. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. CoinWeek is the #1 source online for all things numismatic. Visit www.coinweek.com to take your hobby to the next level.